in this video, and we're gonna go into how I got this look using all of the new products. All right, I sped up this process so you guys wouldn't have to be watching this forever. I start with a little bit of the peach tea color, and then I blend it in using the MAC 224 brush. Any soft, fluffy blending brush will do a good job applying just a light wash of color. And this is kind of the best friend color, so I am applying it as a base in the crease to just kind of start layering that more intense look. And of course, before I got started, I used a little bit of the Shadow Insurance Primer by Too Faced. Now to build that color, I just pointed to Peach Cobbler. I got a little bit of that on the brush, and I'm working from the outer corner in. And you see a little bit is going on my lid, and I'm fine with that. I'm not trying to create anything too defined with this look, and especially not at this point. I'm just trying to like lay some good color in. I spent a lot of time blending the color out, but really it doesn't have to be perfect until you get towards the end. That was just Peachy, which is that brighter kind of peachy brown color, and I'm using a flat brush to apply that to the lid, and I'm really packing it in there so I get more vibrancy from the color. Any flat kind of stiff brush will give you more of the intensity, whereas the fluffier, more sparsely bristled brushes will give you a little bit less density and a lighter application. So now I went in with that brighter peach in the outer corner, and that's just to give the look some dimension. And that color is Peach Punch, and I really, really love that color. Just because it's bright, but it's not super crazy. You can see it's blending in really well with the browns and the lighter peach, but it just kind of made the look pop. So now I go and I'm blending a Peach Cobbler and then the darker brown Peach Tart, and I'm using a pencil brush. This is the brush by NARS to just blend the color beneath the eye. With all the intensity that I'm building on the top of the lid, it's just nice, and it creates some balance to add some color to the bottom lash line. I got it a little bit too far down for my taste, so I'm just kind of wiping a little off. Now I go in with the Just Ripe, and I'm just dabbing that on with a pencil brush on the furthermost corner, creating kind of a V shape. That will just really accentuate the shape of the eyes, and of course because it's that plum color, it's going to pop the green color of my eyes. I used an angled brush right there just to kind of connect the bottom lash line to the upper lash line. Peach Sangria is what I'm using now to really brighten up that outer corner. And this color is very beautiful. It's pretty vibrant and bright. It looks like it's going to be pretty dark, but it goes on a kind of medium magenta color. And although this is matte in terms of the palette finish, there's a little bit of an iridescence to that shade, which is quite pretty and again gives dimension. I was a little concerned working with all matte eyeshadow shades just because, you know, you don't get any variation. If you're working with all matte, everything kind of looks flat in the end. Another good time to use shimmer is when you need help blending. So not only does it add a little dimension because of the shine that's created by adding the glitter or the reflect, but you also have an easier ability to blend shimmery colors versus matte colors. However, I feel like these colors were very easy to work with. They are so creamy. They blended seamlessly. I didn't have any problems with patchiness or the pigment sticking to any parts of the eye, so I was very pleased with how this turned out. So I'm taking the lightest two colors, Peach Meringue and Peach Butter. I'm using the MAC 217 brush, so this is more of a pointed blender brush. I wanted to be a little more precise with this color. And I'm using it to blend out the edges on underneath the brow bone and to highlight a little bit. And then I'm just taking a little teeny bit on the inner corner and highlighting. I wanted to clean up the under eye area just because I feel like the shadow underneath the lower lash line got pulled down a little further than I had intended. And I seem to always pull my eyeshadow out further than I'd like, you know, to where it kind of droops out past the end of that brow. So I was just cleaning it up so that it kind of stops where the end of the lash line stops. It's kind of a good rule of thumb to just think of that lower lash line continuing up, and that is a good target of where you would want your eyeshadow to stop. And you can see what cleaning that up did for the shape of my eyes. So this is the Stila liquid liner. And I'm just going to quickly create a little bit of a wing. One of my favorite tricks with this is to hold it at like a 45-degree angle. So right now I'm holding it directly towards the lid. It's a lot more difficult to get a perfectly even line when you're holding it directly towards the lid. So if you hold it at that 45-degree angle and kind of press the liquid liner into the lash line, it's much easier to have a steady hand and get that really crisp line that you're looking for. Ever since I started using this product, I feel like I've just stuck with it. I very much enjoy it. It's easy to apply, and I like how inky and black it is. It's very dark. It has a nice kind of shiny finish to it also, which I seem to prefer over the matte black finish. I like to start on the outside corner and then kind of work towards the inside. You can see I kind of goofed up there, so don't worry if you get a little bit of a squiggly line. It's pretty easy to just go over the top and get it smoothed out. Kind of taking forever, but I like it to be precise. So here I go in for the wing. And again, that bottom lash line trick really applies when you're trying to build a wing eyeliner shape. You really want to just continue as if the bottom lash line was going up towards your eyebrow. That, for most people, is a great way to create a perfect shape of a cat eye. I like to work from the outside in and then kind of connect in the middle there. Some people do the opposite, but this is just what works for me. So there I go again, marking that point where I want it to go and then drawing in. Hadn't done a cat eye on myself for quite a while, so it was actually difficult because I'm kind of out of practice right now. I don't typically wear eyeliner on a day-to-day basis. I do like to wear it when I have more intense eyeshadow looks on, but seeing as I don't wear eyeshadow very often, I typically skip eyeliner. Here I'm just kind of evening it out. And right there you can see I start coming in to where the lash line ends and connects to that outer corner. I just want my eyeliner to connect to that outermost corner, which gives it a little more of an anchor. That way your eyeliner doesn't look like it's floating. All right, so we're finally making progress, and now it is time to clean it up. The best way to alter your cat eyeliner is to work from the outside. You can change the shape very easily just by using a Q-tip and working some of the product off the outer corner. And I'm planning on doing a video on eyeliner tricks, and I'll show you in more detail what I'm doing there because it is extremely helpful, and I feel like that is how I'm able to get more of a balanced cat eye. It's so hard to get it perfect on the first time when you're just eyeballing it, but with the proper cleanup proper cleanup techniques, you can get the balance and the evenness. Okay, just checking it out, making sure it's even. Good way to tell is to look up and then kind of down towards the mirror and see if the points are even, and then to look down and tilt your eyes to look up. None of that is making sense. I will probably just have to show you in a video. I wanted this to have a more subtle wing. Subtle in that it gradually gets skinnier and skinnier and then kind of disappears. So I'm adding a teeny little fleck at the very end. Clearly pleased with myself. Happy about how it's going. There have been so many times where I've tried to do a wing liner and it has been botched and it's worked out horribly, and so I have just taken off my entire eyeshadow and quit. So if you are interested in doing wing liner but you feel like you just can't do it and it's too difficult, keep trying, because it takes a long time to get where you're comfortable just throwing it on. Now that I'm done with the liner on the upper lid, I am going to go in and tightline using the Marc Jacobs Fine Liner. This is in the color Blacker Berry. I love it because it's a deep berry shade that's almost black, and it is so fantastic for really making green eyes pop. And in fact, violets and lavenders, any kind of purple color really makes any eye color pop, but it's especially great on green eyes. This is one of the only products that I found that actually stays in my waterline. And unfortunately, it's pretty expensive, but I was happy to pay the price because I feel like nothing else works on me. There's something about that purple color against the peach tones that I feel make it a very dynamic look also. I got a little bit on my lashes and had to clean it out. See what that does? It just makes the eyes pop and adds quite a nice finish to an eye look. So I'm definitely a big fan of tight lining. So I use this little MAC brush. It's this duo fiber brush to apply the blush. And I'm showing you there that if you start the blush about 2 finger widths away from your nose, it's a great way to still keep the blush on the apples of the cheeks, but to provide kind of a face lifting quality to the product. So that was the MAC 159, and now I'm going to set everything with the Born This Way setting powder, just because I'm done with all of my cream products and I'm going to move in with the powders. After applying the blush with the brush, I found that I liked using my fingers a little better to at least lay the product down, because I got more intensity with the color. I was able to actually build up more pigment. It's pretty subtle here, and I'm a blush girl. I like to have more color on the cheeks. So you can use your finger and blend it out with a brush, or you can just use a brush, whatever you prefer. I like using the synthetic brushes with cream versus the natural fibers. I like to use an angled brush with my bronzer, so that's what I'm coming in with. That sad face was me reluctantly ruining the beautiful product by actually using it. Heaven forbid. I'm doing a pretty quick contour here, and I am liking it. Giving the thumbs up because I said in my first video that I was a little nervous that it was looking too orange, but once I applied it, I was pretty happy with the results. It's hard when you're as fair as I am to get a color that builds and gives you the result that you're looking for without looking orange, because pretty much everything looks orange when you're super pale. Just a quick contour. I like to keep it to the outer areas of the face and kind of apply where I would naturally get sun, tan, and exposure. I'm not huge on the contouring trend, but you can take a little bit underneath your chin and your jawline right there, which will naturally define that area and be a little slimming. It's nice to get a little contouring in when you can, but I just don't like to go overboard because I feel like it's easy to do that, and when you're doing a heavy contour, you know, it's hard to make it not look harsh. And since I don't spend too much time on my makeup every day, I only do a more intense contour if I'm, you know, putting on more of a face for a special occasion. So putting the setting spray to the test, make a face here. Oh, it was like kind of a powerful spray, so it felt like it was coming on kind of strong when I was spraying it. I was a little overwhelmed. Now I'm going on with the lipstick, and I just think this formula is very creamy and luxurious. I am a huge fan of the lipstick. And it was much more natural looking than I thought it was going to be. It's kind of a perfect everyday color. The way it was described as a spiced mauve, I thought it would maybe be a little too terracotta. But it's a pretty great neutral. And I'm using a MAC lip liner in Boldly Bare, which is my favorite neutral lip liner. Just kind of giving it a little bit of definition. I think I've used the word definition 45 times in this video, but when you're working with makeup, I guess it's kind of the only term to describe what I'm talking about. You don't want to have vague lip lines. Sometimes you need to create a distinction there. And boom. And there you have it. Full face of the new Too Faced Peaches and Cream from your beauty guru. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe because I will be coming with more material your way soon. Thanks for watching.